I'm a millennial. Of course I overplucked my eyebrows in middle school and they never grew back the same. Hi friend, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about brows. You guys wanted to see brows, so I'm here to deliver, okay? We're doing a full in-depth tutorial on how I do my eyebrows. This is a piece of content that I'm gonna be linking people to when they ask me about my brow routine from now on. So I had to make sure it was good. Before we go any further, you know what to do. Give this video a like, consider subscribing to my channel. I create videos about beauty and real life, and I upload pretty regularly weekly. I actually filmed this video on 2 different days, yesterday and today. Not on purpose, I just actually forgot to film an intro or an outro yesterday. So I did my eyebrows today, and I actually think they turned out a little bit better. So if they look slightly different here versus when we get into the tutorial, that's why. Also why they came out better today is I ended up using the products I favored in the tutorial because I did a little experiment of a couple of products that I really like right now. And I think I found out what I truly favor. And that's what I used today. And I did pluck and clean up my eyebrows for the first time in a long time before we did the tutorial. And I think that's why they just look so neat today. And I think I gave myself a little facelift too by cleaning up the tails. Let's get to the practical stuff. What all are you going to need? You are going to need a strong brow hold product. That could be a brow gel or a brow wax. Products I know you can achieve this look with because I have experience with them. The Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter, which is what I've used today and what I've used on one of the eyebrows in the tutorial. Also, the new Kofi Brow Wax or Brow Gel. I've misplaced it somehow since yesterday, but I used it on the other eyebrow. I did one on each. I'll talk about the differences between those two particularly as we get into the video. So if you're interested in those, you can choose which one is best for you. Other products that I've used that I know will give you this look is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze. And another brand that I've mentioned a few times in previous videos is the Trio Beauty Butterfly Brow Wax. All of those products are gonna give you that super good, grippy, laminated hold and that laminated look. As far as filling in the eyebrows, that's gonna be your preference, of course. Duh. Everything you use is gonna be up to you ultimately. But there are a couple of different options for filling in your eyebrows depending on what you're comfortable with and what type of look you're going for. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using pencil. Today, I'm using the Give Beauty Brow Pencil. This one is called Hella On Point. Just recently started using these, but they are so fine. I really like them. The shade I'm wearing is 7. On my other eyebrow in the tutorial, I'm using the LYS Brow Pencil, which is the one I have been regularly using before I've kind of started favoring and trying the Give one. Trio Beauty also makes probably my most favorite brow pencils, but I've used up all of mine right now. The other way I really love to fill in my eyebrows is with a brow powder. Anastasia Beverly Hills is where you're gonna find all these brow products and then some, so they also carry a brow powder, of course. I believe I use the shade ebony or medium brown or dark brown. I could pretty much use any of those with their brow powder. If you're worried about that really blocky, thick type of eyebrow that just looks really artificial and tacky, then brow powder might be a really great option for you because it's so much easier to get that really soft, gentle, light fill. You can even accomplish those really fine hair-like strokes using a powder if you have a really good brush for it. This brush is also from Benefit, but this is what I would be using with powder or pomade or really anything to create those brow strokes. Really nice and sharp, and you can just put it in the powder, kind of wipe off the excess on the back of your hand. That's how you make sure there's no fallout with your powders. And you can get those really fine hair-like strokes. Lastly, if you really want that nice defined look, get a brow pen. Don't get me wrong, you can do a lot with a really nice fine brow pencil or a nice brush using a brow powder or a brow pomade. But if you have a brow pen, nothing beats that really good definition that you get from that, just the look of those hairs. My favorite brow pen is the Trio Beauty Brow Pen. I don't know if this packaging is up to date, so if you order it, it might come and look differently, but I will link it down below so that you get the right one. But their brow swipe pen is just so ultra fine. It just gives you those really nice, precise hair-like strokes. I almost forgot to say, you're also gonna need a concealer to clean up your eyebrows with. Preferably 2, a brightening shade, like the shade you use under your eyes, and a flesh tone shade, meaning a shade that's closer to your shade of foundation particularly something that is gonna match your forehead. For me, my forehead is tanner than the underside of my eyebrow, so I have to make sure that it is something that's tan and that can just melt and diffuse back into my complexion and not create any stark lines along the top of my eyebrow. The brightening concealer shade along the bottom gives you that really nice, crisp cleanup, almost like that freshly waxed or freshly threaded type of look. Concealer along the top just helps clean it up, but you want that one to be more undetectable and natural and just kind of blend right back in with the rest of your makeup. I actually cannot go without any part of this routine. Like, I'm so set in my ways. I've been doing this for over a year now, and I absolutely love how my brows come out. This is gonna be the last brow routine that you ever have to learn, and I'm not just tooting my own horn. Once I started doing my eyebrows in these steps, in this routine, in this technique, I make adjustments here and there for what I need, but I haven't had to learn any other type of technique. I always can get the look I want. All right, now that you know exactly what you need and what you can use to accomplish this, let's see it in action. All right, let's get into this before. So you're truly about to witness a brow transformation. I have been letting my eyebrows grow for months and months, just hoping that I'll see a fuller shape eventually, but they're kind of stuck like this. Like I stated in the beginning of the video, when I was younger, I used to pluck them really thin. And yeah, this is just what I'm working with now. So the outcome of this will be a true testament to this technique. Once my eyebrows were all plucked, I also cleaned them off. I just used water. You can use micellar water, whatever you'd like. Just make sure that the area is clean, no makeup or skincare allowed. All those things are going to affect the hold of your products. This eyebrow got the 24-hour brow setter from Benefit, and the way I can describe the consistency of this is like nail polish. Just hear me out. It's really liquidy, it's runny like water, but as it dries, it will get tacky and it will dry and like set and harden. So what I've done is I worked it as it dried and I backcombed my eyebrows and then started to brush them in place, flipped it to the flat side and used that to press and get that laminated effect. Now we're using the Kulfi Free the Brow on this other eyebrow. Can you see the difference? Because I certainly can. This effect is softer, it's shinier. I actually like the way this one looks upon first application better, but they're different because this one is more like the texture of like an edge control. It's more of a shiny, waxy, I don't want to say oily, but not in a negative context type of hold. Now I'm going to clean up with concealer. I'm always using my Huda Beauty concealers. These are a great matte finish, and I think a matte finish will work best for this. So I've got Coconut Flakes for my lighter shade and Sugar Biscuit for my flesh tone shade. And for my lighter shade, I don't always just completely use that shade. I always kind of mix it in the middle of my hand to get something a little bit softer, a little less stark bright. And I'll go ahead and start to carve out the bottom of my eyebrow using a paintbrush. Yes, ma'am. That is a paintbrush, and it is the best thing that you can use because it is so precise and so sharp. Just trust me. As far as carving out my eyebrows, I really just kind of follow the bone structure of my eyebrow. It's pretty intuitive. I don't get too close into my eyebrow. I don't start touching the hair. I just stay along the outside and just trace the natural shape of the brow. And in the places where it's really patchy and I don't have hair, I still trace the bone structure of where hair should be, which is I have to do a lot of work on this eyebrow. I have to do a lot of that because this eyebrow, she is extra skinny. She's extra arched. That side of my face, the bone structure is arched too. And so I kind of have to look back and forth as I go to make sure that I just soften the arch of that particular eyebrow so that they can match a little bit better. Now on the side that I used the 24-hour brow setter, I'm using the Give pencil. This was my winning combo, y'all. I loved this pencil. It is so skinny and fine. Did I use it on both sides? Oh, that's hilarious. Well, all right. So I used it on both sides. I could have swore I used a different pencil on this side. But here's the difference. I was having trouble writing on that side because the Kulfi brow wax was a little greasy. It was a little bit harder to get that down, whereas my other eyebrow, it felt completely dry, and everything I was laying down product-wise for pigment was just sticking to it, including the brow pen. Using the pencil to gently and evenly shade my eyebrows was so easy because the concealer created a brow stencil for us. So all I did was shade in my stencil with a light hand. Once I was satisfied with that, I grabbed the brow pen and I always followed the direction of the hair. So right there in the front, we're going straight up and down. If I go further in the eyebrow, I'm going to use diagonal strokes. There are certainly areas where my pencil had to overcompensate, but there's not the texture of hair there, so the pen gives the illusion of hair-like strokes in those areas. As I've stated, I swap products in and out depending on what I'm trying or what's on hand, but it's always those type of products that I advised. It's always always this technique that I've shown you, and it's always in that order. These steps plus a soft hand when you're going in and shading and adding the hair-like strokes is the winning recipe, girl. Use this technique as the basis for building whatever kind of brow you like, whatever kind of boldness level, definition level. You've got the keys for a natural clean brow. I just know you're about to step up your brow game. I hope this video was helpful. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and let me know. Just a quick reminder that all those products that I used are going to be linked down in the caption for you. And don't forget to subscribe before you go. I'd love to see you next week. Bye. I think I'm done.
I got this thing for you. If you come closer, I can whisper in your ear.